some people left you guys for dead after Central Michigan. Did that kind of fire you up? Do you think that kind of helped turn things around?
Yeah, you know, we saw the social media stuff, like even before the Central Michigan game, but especially after the Central Michigan game, like a lot of, I mean, basically all of Twitter, all my mentions were like, how this team is dead, how we need to fire Jawan, how, you know, we just need to remodel the program. And I mean, if you really look at it, if like 10 to 12 points go the other way, we're sitting at like 13-1, and that's really how close this season is from being, you know, like a top 5 team in the country. I mean, we've played every team besides Arizona State within 10 points, some even closer. And so for us, we know we're talented, we know we're good, and now it's just a matter of us really going out there and buying into playing 40 minutes of Michigan basketball.
Was tonight sort of evidence of maybe something you guys have learned in those close losses? I mean, they had an 11-0 run, 14-0 run, and you guys sort of come out on top.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, down the stretch, you know, we always have that tough, you know, deal with keeping the lead and stuff like that. But the fact that, you know, we fought through adversity today, you know, we learned from our previous mistakes because, you know, previously in the season, you know, you see how the outcomes would come out if the game was that close. But you could tell we definitely learned from our mistakes. You know, we closing out games, and, you know, it's evident on the court, you know, the work we're putting in behind the scenes, you know, all of the corrections and stuff that we made, you know, behind the scenes, and it's evident on the court. So, you know, we continue to do that, and, you know, our season going uphill from here.
Just for Joey, some good looks beyond the arc. Is this something you've been striving for? Was there more of a emphasis on that for you going into this game?
Not necessarily. I think I've known I'd need to be a little bit more aggressive, just kind of hunting my shots. But I've always played within the rhythm of the game, and got a good amount of open looks. And, you know, teammates set me up. Doug hit me on a big one in the second half. And so it was just a product of my teammates finding me. You know, I play off of them. So that's all that was, just constant work and trusting the process.
Down here for any of you, but maybe Doug, it looked like Jalen Wallen had surgery today. I'm curious if you've heard from him, how he's doing, and what kind of conversations you've had with him these past few weeks.
We talked to him right before he went in and right after he came out. And we were actually on the phone with him in the locker room after the game. You know, so we had our whole team in there to celebrate that win. So, you know, it's just good that, you know, we could pick up where he left off because, you know, he's a very important part of our team. And, you know, just having him on the phone, just having his presence there with us, you could definitely tell we were playing for him tonight.
Doug, can you talk about how you guys took care of the basketball tonight? 3 turnovers, you with none, Kobe with just 1.
You know, it's been an emphasis on our turnovers. You know, saving the other team from getting extra possessions. You know, make sure we're savoring our possessions and getting quality shots. So, you know, me and Kobe came together. We built a great bond, and we just made it our duty, to, you know, to take care of the ball, make sure that, you know, we're efficient. We take advantage of every opportunity we get on the offensive end. So, you know, that's evident. You know, we want to keep taking care of the ball. Hopefully, keep the turnover rate down.
Doug, how much more comfortable are you now than you were maybe when you first got here? And has the game slowed down for you?
It's definitely slowed down. But, you know, a player like me is always hungry. You know, like, I'm never comfortable, you know, coming from where I come from, you know, my physique, my appearance, I just can never be comfortable. So, you know, I'm always hungry, always ready to take on the next task. And it shows, you know, I come out play with a lot of emotion. You know, I'm an emotional player, you know, based off, you know, what I've been through my size and stuff like that. So I love playing with my emotion. And, you know, I never love to get comfortable because next man, as you can see, next man's always up. So I always got to be hungry and ready. But the game has definitely been slowing down for me as I get more minutes and more experience out there.
For Hunter, but you know anyone else too, I guess. You guys talk about championship habits, winning plays. I know that's not just scoring, but I guess can you give some examples of what those things are that you maybe did tonight that you hadn't earlier in the year?
I got one before you go. Two plays that stood out to me that I don't think we would have made earlier in the year. They were kind of like loose ball, scrum, rebounds, and Jet came up with those. And that's an area for him. Like, we know he can score, but he made 2 huge rebounds for us. So that was something that I saw from the sidelines, and I was like, okay, that's an area of growth. And, you know, if they get those and they score, could be sitting here, different outcome. So the little details Coach always talks about goes a long way. So,
Coming off a really strong showing against Maryland, how were you able to build off that momentum today and use that to help you guys win?
I would say it's a lot easier to build off, you know, momentum from, you know, a big win like that than a loss to Central Michigan. So I feel like, you know, that it really ignited us. You know, just seeing everybody play really well together, and just having a dominant victory like we did, I think was just so much reassurance that, you know, we are a really good team and that we can beat anybody in the country, play with anybody in the country. And so for us, it's not like you can carry over the momentum from game to game, because each game's itself, like each game is 3 days apart from each other. And so you got to really just commit to buying in every game, to playing as hard as you can and just buying into the game plan. So it's a daily commitment from each player. And I think, you know, we're just really starting to do that today, or now.
Hunter, what kind of growth have you seen from Doug since he's gotten here?
I think I think the biggest thing that I've seen him improve is just picking his spots on when to be fast and just when to slow down. Like, obviously he's one of the fastest players in the country, and so we're gonna use that speed to our advantage. But there's times when to be fast and times when to slow down, and so he's doing a really good job of picking those spots and really being a floor leader out there for us.
Doug, you mentioned earlier the teams were working on mistakes from past close games that you guys didn't pull out. Is there anything specifically that you focused on from those games that you feel like may have made a difference tonight in those final minutes?
As what Hunter said, you know, change of pace, you know, but you know, more so, you know, I'm a pass first guard. I still look back and do a better job of getting my teammates involved. You know, I may have made the right pass, but it wasn't in the right spot for them. So I've made it my duty to, you know, make sure I hit them on time, on target, in the right spot. In the second half, you know, I found Joey, and I felt like I hit him on target. A few months ago, the ball would have been low, too high. So yeah, that's definitely an area of growth. You know, my pace and just, you know, getting others open where they score best.
And Hunter, going into this game, Penn State, we had the fewest turnovers in the country. You guys were able to score 17 points off turnovers. Specifically that play where you kind of dove on the ground there near half court, got a little bloody. What did you see on that play, and how important was it to force turnovers in plays like that against Penn State?
I think it was extremely important for us. We knew that, you know, they were going to try to, you know, score off our mistakes, and so we just tried to stay as solid as possible. And we knew if we just really stayed solid, they were going to struggle. And I think, you know, a couple of those times when they threw those passes, we were just so solid that, you know, they weren't really expecting it, and they didn't really know what to do, you know, with how solid we were playing out there. And on that play, Kobe really just inspired me with, you know, his defense and the way he was onto the ball and got that steal or poked the ball loose. And so, you know, he really inspired me to really go out there and dive for it. And it was just an inspiring play by Kobe.
All right, we have time for one more question. If anyone wants to close out.
Yeah, obviously big game coming up this weekend. Hunter, you haven't been shy about your thoughts about Michigan State on your podcast or elsewhere. It's now on tap. Wondering if you had any thoughts about that game, what it means to you, what it means to this program.
It'll be a fun one for sure. That's what this rivalry is all about. Is, you know, big time games. I think, you know, they just came off a big win themselves, and so, you know, there's a lot of history in that matchup, and you know, there's obviously a lot of rivalries. It's just funny how a kid from DC, you know, has gotten into this matchup and gotten, you know, so involved in it, and I love it. I love the rivalry. I love everything about it, because that's what's fun about sports, is having these sports rivalries. And so, you know, at the end of the day, it's just sports, but it's amazing, and I can't wait for Saturday.
Do you like being the villain, or perceived?
I mean, I wasn't expecting like to go in and like get applauded out there, so I don't think it's really going to be like any different. They might boo me a little extra, but like it wasn't really going to. Yeah, like they don't like us and we don't like them, so it's like. Yeah, it's not like I was going in there kumbaya with the fans.
All right, fellas. Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.